Bungie
This is the biggest gaming acquisition failure in recent history.
is in serious trouble.
Sony suffering a $765 million loss.
You know, Sony has to feel scammed. They bought 2 failed live service games instead of 1.
I want Destiny 3 and Marathon. If I have to fucking bury you myself to send that message, I shall.
And no, I'm not talking about the kind of trouble where a gaming studio is in some sort of drama. I mean the kind of trouble where one of the most legendary studios in gaming, the company that gave us Halo, may be on borrowed time. Destiny 2, it's finally shutting down active development after 9 years. Sony, they just announced to the world that they're eating another $500 million in losses tied directly to Bungie. And since those announcements, layoff rumors have spread like wildfire through the internet. And somehow, after all this, Bungie may be betting everything on Marathon. Yeah, remember that game that everyone decided was dead before it ever even had a chance to launch? That's the game that we're going to be talking about today. So naturally, I thought this would be the perfect time to crack open another beer to talk about whether or not Bungie was going to be saved by this game or ended by it. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I love that you decided to stop by. My name is Eric, and yes, I am aware that that doesn't make any sense given the channel name, and no, I still don't care.
Oh, and for my returning viewers, if having good taste was illegal, every single one of you would be serving a life sentence for clicking on this here video today.
So grab yourselves a beer, sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get started. A few weeks ago, I made a video on Marathon where I talked about why I think it secretly might be the best shooter that nobody is playing. And judging by just the few comments and views that I got,
Excuse me!
some of you agreed, and some of you thought I was absolutely batshit crazy. Which, to be fair, I knew that the topic was going to raise some eyebrows. But after everything that's happened over the last few weeks, the conversation feels way bigger than just Marathon now. Because the more I looked into everything that's happening with Bungie, Sony's losses, Destiny ending, layoff rumors, Marathon's next season just around the corner, the more the question in my head started popping up of whether or not Bungie is even going to exist in a couple of years. And honestly, that's a really weird question to have to even ask. Because let's be real for a second. This is Bungie we're talking about. These are the creators of 2 of the industry-defining franchises in Halo and Destiny. The studio that basically made Xbox a true competitor throughout the 2000s. Like, dude, if you grew up during the 360 era, Bungie wasn't just a part of your childhood, they were your childhood. Bungie had this aura around them. They couldn't miss. Every release felt important. Every game felt like an event. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Because somehow, Bungie went from the most loved studio in gaming to one of the most hated in less than 5 years. Now, before we start acting like Bungie just woke up one morning and forgot how to make good video games or forgot how to run their company, let's be fair for a second. Because companies don't go from one of the most respected in their industry to one of the most hated overnight. This wasn't just your standard collapse. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing sad to watch. Because for years, Bungie looked untouchable. For 3 decades, Bungie revolutionized first-person shooters. And then one day, they just started stepping on the same broken glass. Over and over and over and over again. And man, if you're a Destiny fan watching this, brother, I thought being a Halo fan was a bad lifestyle choice. And don't get me wrong, it certainly is. But y'all lately have said,
Here, hold 'em beer.
now we see who suffer most. Like genuinely, Bungie has found the way to test the patience of one of the most loyal and patient gaming communities every single year. No matter how mad y'all got, no matter how many Reddit essays got written, no matter how many YouTubers made their "Bungie is finally dead this time" video, Bungie still made money off of Destiny, and a shitload of it. Enough money to keep the lights on, enough money to attract potential buyers, like Sony, and enough money for Bungie to keep screwing up. Oh, and when Sony does pull the trigger on the deal, they overspend and acquire them for $3.6 billion with a B. That changes expectations. This wasn't just, hey Bungie, go make cool games. Nah, this was, hey Bungie, go make cool games, and by the way, also help out our entire future plans for the PlayStation Live Service model. That's the kind of stuff that gets shareholders immediately foaming at the mouth. But you know what they say, reality always comes knocking. Sony's live service push turned into a literal dumpster fire. Projects got canceled, studios were restructured.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
And Concord? Let's just say that Sony doesn't want to hear the word hero shooter for at least the next decade. And now, Bungie stopped looking like Sony's golden goose and started looking like that shit that your cousin forgot to flush down the toilet when he came over for taco night. And here's where things start getting really interesting. Because if Bungie is actually in trouble, if Sony is genuinely losing patience with them, if Destiny 2 is really ending after almost a decade of development, then suddenly, Marathon stops looking like just another rough game launch and starts looking like the biggest gamble in gaming history to save an entire studio. Which, love Marathon or hate it, and Lord knows that I do enjoy the game, it sounds absolutely crazy to say that an extraction shooter is the thing standing between Bungie and damnation. Like literally, it sounds like you probably took a bag of shrooms before you had that conversation with me. You have better chances of winning the slots in Vegas than Bungie does being successful with an extraction shooter of their studio size with that amount of money invested in it. But that's the reality we live in now. Which brings us to the obvious question. Why Marathon? Seriously, out of all the directions Bungie could have gone, Destiny 3, a completely new IP, hell, even just a knockoff arena shooter to cash in on Halo nostalgia. This is the game that they're betting their future on? Extraction shooters are one of the most niche genres in all of gaming right now. And most gamers today have the attention span of a goldfish with CTE. This sounds like the kind of pitch that somebody would use after going on a darkness retreat with Aaron Rodgers, drinking way too much ayahuasca. Like, oh my god guys, I've seen the future. All right, Bungie, we just spent $3.6 billion on you. What do you got? Well, what if we finally make Destiny 3 like fans have been asking for? Idiots! Gamers don't know what they want. Only we know what they want. Well, sir, we are testing a small project to resurrect our old IP Marathon into a modern-day extraction shooter. Yes! Let's dump hundreds of millions of dollars into it immediately. With the current leadership from Bungie, there's no chance that this will backfire. Okay, maybe it wasn't that dramatic, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. Now, on paper, I completely understand why people hated this idea. Think about it for a second. Bungie revives one of their oldest franchises, a franchise known for weird sci-fi lore. And instead of giving fans a rich single-player campaign, a shared world experience like Destiny, or literally anything remotely close to what people expected from Bungie, we got another extraction shooter. And look, if the video ended right here, I probably would agree with most people and say that this was probably a stupid idea. But believe it or not, I actually understand why Bungie picked Marathon as their next title. And no, before anybody says, Eric, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid like all the other shills. Just hear me out. Bungie doesn't need another one and done game right now. They need another ecosystem, another game where people log into every week, another game players slowly sink hundreds, if not thousands of hours into. Because whether people want to admit it or not, Destiny wasn't just a game over the past 10 years, it was Bungie's entire business model. And if there's one thing that Bungie has always been elite at, it's making shooters feel great. Tight gunplay, creative sandbox combat, high stakes moments, that feeling of just one more match, which are exactly the things that great extraction shooters live and die on. The problem is, none of it matters if Bungie's already burnt too much trust with the gaming community, because Marathon Season 2 content drop is just a couple of days away. And whether people realize this or not, this is either the first chapter in one of the greatest comeback stories, or the final chapter in one of the greatest tragedies in the gaming industry. Hey guys, just wanted to take a quick break to thank today's sponsor of this video, me! That's right, because apparently nobody else on the internet wants to sponsor a middle-aged cowboy with less than 1,000 subscribers. Go figure.
And honestly, it hurts my feelings, man.
But you know what does help? Subscribing and liking the video, because statistically, there is a terrifying amount of you that watch these videos without subscribing.
And to be honest, it just feels a little bit disrespectful, my man.
So if you're enjoying today's video, make sure you do the HBO special, help a brother out, and press the subscribe button. So one day, Raid Shadow Legends will finally answer my call. Once again, thank you, Don Gaming, and let's get back to the video. So, what exactly has Bungie been changing? And more importantly, did they finally get the damn message? Because let's be real, if Bungie screws this up, I genuinely don't know what a plan B even looks like for them. But there is good news, because it does seem that Bungie actually understands that their backs are against the wall for real this time. With Season 2, this is officially put up or shut up time. Now, I think one of the biggest signs that Bungie knows that they're in serious trouble is the fact that they're doing an open play week. Not a weekend, a full week. From June 2nd through June 9th, the full game is free. Everybody starts fresh. Your progression, it'll carry over. Bungie's basically saying, bring your friends, try the game, and if you hate it, cool. At least you gave us a chance. And let me just say, Bungie, in my opinion, is not doing this because they feel generous. They realize that without a surge of players, their studio's existence is in jeopardy. And you know, the thing that they probably should have known from day one, new players in this game were getting absolutely curb stomped in Season 1, which shockingly turns out it was not a good plan.
That was the plan. Not a great plan.
So, Bungie claims that they're going to be updating the game to have an easier onboarding system, that they're going to have better tutorials, better contracts, easier systems to understand, the UI is supposed to get cleaned up, and overall better progression to make things a little bit easier for the new players. Sure, it's going to be a little bit less hardcore, but it's also going to be a little less
Figure it out, you idiots.
energy than it was before. I think Bungie figured out something that they should have realized from day one. Most gamers are not unemployed demons. Brother, some of us have kids, responsibilities, a job, lower and crippled back pain. We ain't trying to play every single match like it's life or death.
Going in.
Which is why this new PvE direction is actually way bigger than people realize. And I know the hardcore fans are not excited about it, but you should be. Marathon's roots come from a deeply dark, fucked up sci-fi world. The series is downright a diet version of the Dead Space games. So the fact that they're leaning into the horror-esque extraction experience with their new map, Nightmarsh, I honestly couldn't be more pumped to try it out for myself. Spawning in with flashlights, freaky aliens lurking around every corner, increased AI, fewer players on the map, slower pacing, more survival horror vibes. Honestly, this sounds a lot less like the Marathon that we've known over the past 3 months, and sounds a lot more like Tarkov and Alien Isolation mixed in with a bag of anxiety, all into one experience. And here's the good thing, it has the same intensity that Marathon wanted to set out to have, but without the third partying from the stupid basement dwellers that were hiding around the corner when you're playing on Cryo Archive. And you know what secretly is one of the biggest killers of retention in a game like this? Dead runs, empty moments, loot droughts, 20 minutes of stress just to get murked by some asshole on Cryo Archive with a shotgun. So Season 2 seems way more focused on making sure stuff happens. More guaranteed events, more unique PvE encounters, better loot flow, faster progression in the game, more reasons to explore the gorgeous maps that Bungie spent countless hours designing. All of this will lead to a better experience for the players. But none of this matters if the progression still feels like homework, which thankfully they seem to understand. The new Cradle system streamlines everything that was clunky to learn about the faction upgrades from Season 1. We can respec our builds at any time and build the exact playstyle that we want. And the seasonal wipe that everybody keeps crying about, including the Marathon fans, that likely will turn out to be one of the best decisions that they could possibly make to attract new players. Because for the first time in 3 months, everybody's going to be starting on equal playing field with the brand new content. And those unemployed demons, they finally have to go outside and touch grass like the rest of us. Casual players aren't permanently behind anymore. You can actually get decent free kits now just from leveling up, which means getting back into the game won't feel like punishment. That buddy of yours that quit 2 months ago suddenly has a reason to come back, because now everybody's back at square one. And I'm sorry, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Marathon is not going to survive if it only appeals to the sweats. It needs casual players mixed into the population. They need that guy that's hopping on for 1 hour after work, or the dude with kids who just wants to chill with his friends and shoot weird alien creatures. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is trying to become the Michael Jordan of extraction shooters. But here's the uncomfortable thing that nobody wants to talk about. Marathon's biggest problem isn't its art style, it's not its gameplay, it's not the map design. It's Bungie. It's trust. Because gamers, we forgive rough launches, man. Bugs, balance issues, missing content. Hell, we've seen comeback stories. Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy XIV. We know redemption stories are possible, but redemption stories only happen when people want you to succeed. And I think that's the biggest question that Bungie has to answer right now, is do people want to see them succeed? Because Marathon's season that's coming up in a couple of days feels like Bungie's first real test since the launch of the game. And it's not just a test for the game, it's a test for the entire studio. So, can Marathon save Bungie, or are we just watching the slow death of one of gaming's greatest studios? For me, the answer is maybe. And I know that's one of the biggest cop-out answers I could have given you, but I did warn you in the thumbnail when you clicked on the video. So just hear me out. Because if this was 6 months ago, I probably would have said, this studio's cooked. But after seeing what Bungie is trying to do with Season 2 and beyond, the PvE direction, which ideally should include some dope aliens, better onboarding for new players, more things actually happening during the runs consistently, and more reasons for casual players to stick beyond the wipe after the first 2 weeks. This community's been loud. And I'm not just talking about the people who are enjoying the game. If you drown out the bullshit, the people that are crying and whining on the internet about how terrible this game is, that they barely even tried or they didn't try at all, they're actually giving good feedback for Bungie to listen to. I believe Bungie has their finger on the pulse and knows what people want to see from them. You don't get the amount of updates that we've gotten in the past 3 months if they weren't. And sure, I could be wrong. In a year's time, this studio could be completely shut down and the servers for this game go offline. But the fact is, I don't think Bungie just suddenly forgot how to make great games. I think they forgot how to listen to their players, and they have learned that lesson in the hardest way that they possibly could have. This whole situation is just weird to me, man, because for a lot of us that are like me, Halo, Destiny, and Bungie, they mattered. These weren't just games. These were core memories that will live on within our hearts for decades, which is why watching Bungie struggle like this feels sad for a lot of us. It certainly doesn't excuse their past decisions. It just sucks how far they've fallen in the public eye. But if I'm being real with y'all, I believe Marathon has a real chance. Not because it's perfect, because it's certainly not, and not because every decision they've ever made has been smart, because it certainly hasn't been. I basically just spent this entire video talking about all the ways that they fucked up. But because underneath all the controversy, bad press, the years of Bungie stepping directly on broken glass, there's a damn good game hiding in here. And with clear signs that Bungie is listening, that Sony potentially is going to give them at least a year to get their shit together, and the players who are playing genuinely loving the game, I think, yeah, there is a chance that Marathon could save Bungie. But if Season 2 flops, if Bungie's additions feel surface level or cheap in any way, if players don't return and give them a chance when Season 2 comes out, I genuinely think Bungie could end up becoming another footnote in the great games that got shut down category. So, what do y'all think? Is this the beginning of another Bungie comeback story, or the inevitable end of the studio? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys want to check out my full thoughts on Marathon, click the video on the screen and I'll catch you guys over there. If you enjoyed today's video, you guys know what to do. It seems I'm becoming the cowboy that drinks beer and talks shit about video games on the internet. Great. Well, thanks for watching. My name is Eric. I make videos about things that I want to talk about. I'll catch you guys in the next one.